So our poor dog Toby has been through a lot lately, especially the last 4 or 5 months. So last week he got bit by a snake. He comes limping in, and I thought, okay, he probably sprained himself a little bit running or something, and kind of felt it, the his paw and his ankle area, and it felt good. He was putting pressure on it, but you can tell it was painful. And so I said, I'll just keep an eye on it. About an hour later, came back. His foot was swelled up like a balloon. His pad, not his pad, his paw, I should say. And the complete lower portion was swelled up like a balloon. And I started getting worried. I thought, okay, what could have happened here? Is it a sprain? I know sprains can do that. Will cause your ankles and foot to swell up, depending, where it's at. And then I noticed his ankle, or I guess it was the first joint above his paw, so that would be equivalent to our heel, but his ankle. That started swelling up too, really bad. So I started getting concerned. Okay, this might be a little worse than it might, than I thought it could be. So I thought, okay, either sprained his ankle or maybe it's a snake bite. I said, you know what, I better bring him to the vet. So I called up the vet. They got me in within a couple hours. And they had an opening. Went there, and he was having trouble putting weight on that foot. I was trying to get him into the van. And I had to assist him in the van and lift his butt up, But I got him in there. We got him to the vet. And the vet was checking him out. And what they did was she was just checking physically checking the paw and his leg out. It was really swollen. And she determined that it was most likely a snake bite. Here in East Texas, the copperheads are they are everywhere. Okay, I've killed so many copperheads that I can't even tell you how many I've killed. There most likely was what bit him. Now, she was saying it could have been a dry bite, meaning that they bite you but they don't put the venom in you. Or it could have been just a small amount of venom, just enough to cause that major inflammation. I'm thinking it was more like it was a quick bite. It probably caught the snake off guard because he was just walking around near the side of our property, and probably just, nipped him a little bit. So it could have been something like that. A quick bite, didn't release much venom, very little, but enough to do the inflammation like that. Thank God, because if it was a full bite and that, he released all the venom in there, I'd be telling you a different story right now. So I thank God it wasn't too serious. What I'm very thankful for is after we brought him home, now she gave him an injection of a painkiller and an antibiotic, and gave us a prescription for antibiotic also, and I think it was a painkiller too. I didn't want to give him either one. We went and got it just in case, but we didn't give it to him yet, and because I wanted to see how he did. And that same day, the shrinking, the swelling in his ankle and his paw went down. And the very next day, it was about half the size. And on the second day, it was almost back to normal. So very, very grateful. We didn't give him the painkiller because he seemed like he was doing fine. He wasn't in pain at all. And we've been keeping an eye on it for infection. Nothing, no infection. He seems as happy as can be, always wanting to play and stuff. And but we we still have the antibiotics just in case. So, in the event your dog does get bit by a snake, keep an eye on him. You can see right away where the area was, most likely in the leg area. It'll get inflamed, and you're gonna have to keep an eye on him. And if it gets super inflamed to where looks like the skin is gonna split, you better get him to the vet real quick. Either way, if you see inflammation, the legs swelling up, best to get them checked out, and just to be safe. And then, like I said, in our case, it turned out to be okay. He was just in pain for a day, and the following day the swelling was going down, and he was putting his weight on it and everything, no problem. So, two things I've learned from this is I gotta be more vigilant and watch for these copperheads. Of course, being out in we have 20 acres. I can't keep an eye on it, but around the house, I'm always looking down, always making sure where I put my foot, where I put my next step, always. And you always wear boots around here. Even when I go to my chicken coop and get eggs, I put my boots on. I got these mud boots I just slip on, and because I don't want to get bit. God forbid having to go to the hospital, because you don't know if that snake bit you, a dry bite, or a full-on venom injection. I mean, it can get serious. I also know it's scary as hell, but to get an anti-venom, it's ridiculously expensive at a hospital. So better to be safe than sorry. Don't be wearing flip-flops and stuff around your property if you know there's snakes around. Don't be wearing tennis shoes, okay? Wear boots. Wear your boots around your property, and be safe about it. Every snake, if it's not a venomous snake, if I see it around the property, I usually just, get a shovel and kind of push it away and keep it away from the house. But if it's a copperhead, or if I know it's a venomous snake, I will kill it, and I don't care, because I don't want us or my wife to get bit, or my dogs. So, and I've only seen the only other venomous snake. I don't know what kind it was, but it was shorter, and they're usually shorter and fatter, and they have a really diamond-shaped head. Okay, and it's good size. They can really open their mouth up. I seen one. This was a few years ago, and I ended up killing it. I don't know what kind it was. I couldn't figure it out, but it was venomous. You can tell. And the only other one was a coral snake I killed. They're rare around here, but my neighbor had one in his house, believe it or not. And he killed it. Coral snakes, how's the saying go? Red and yellow kill a fellow. So if the red and yellow touch, that means they're venomous. If they don't touch and there's a different color in between them, they're not venomous. But who's got time to tell? You just grab the nearest shovel. But yeah, I killed one here. The only thing about the coral snakes, their heads are very small, and it's hard for them to get a good bite. But if they do, it's lights out, pretty much. Nothing to laugh about, really, but they are pretty venomous and very dangerous. Other than that, Toby is doing fantastic. Also, a little update on his DCM, enlarged heart, that he has. As you know, I'll put the video link to that up here, where I was very emotional, and I was heartbroken because the vet found out that he had enlarged heart, and he said probably has a year to live. That broke my heart. I mean, so devastating when you know your pet is dying. He's only 8 years old, he's actually about 9 now. But very devastating, and So we immediately started giving him supplementation like taurine, because I found out that the enlarged heart is a deficiency of taurine. Now, it could be a deficiency, not getting it in the diet, or his body is genetically not, using it properly. But nonetheless, we are supplementing him with taurine, amino acid taurine, L-carnitine, CoQ10, and B1. And those are the main ones that we're supplementing him with. And it's been 4 months now, roughly, since the diagnosis, and he was coughing all the time, coughing, and he couldn't run anymore. He took a few steps, and it's really like a dry type cough, and he was doing that a lot all the time. Well, lo and behold, now it's been 4 months, and I haven't heard him cough anymore. So the only thing he's got the dog's overweight. I know that. But when they have DMC, they retain a lot of liquid around the stomach cavity. So he's got that going on right now. And also, I did a video on him that my neighbor was feeding him. I'll put a link to that up here also. I told my neighbor some years ago not to feed him because they can't eat kibble dog food. It causes inflammation, and it caused all kinds of skin issues with my dog. And Mia, she had elbow hygroma, where it's like a tennis ball was shoved under her. It was all inflamed, like a tennis ball was shoved under her skin. But anyways, they can't eat it, and he kept feeding them and feeding them and feeding them. And the dogs would go over there, and I tell them not to go over there. They get in trouble too when they go over there. But we finally figured out that he was feeding them. I told him not to feed them anymore. Dogs, I have to keep extra careful and watch on them to make sure they don't go over to my neighbors, because I don't want them eating none of that garbage kibble crap, cancer-causing diabetes. You ever notice that dogs have the same diseases as people do because they're eating garbage kibble? Just like most people eat garbage food, junk food, fast food, processed junk, seed oils, and all that junk, and grains, and the dogs have all the same diseases that people have. Stay away from that junk. Eat meat, and if you're going to eat vegetables, just eat meat and vegetables. Eat whole foods. Okay, meat and vegetables would be a keto type diet would be your best option, in my humble opinion. So hey guys, that's what's going on here with Toby. It was almost lights out for him. Thankfully, that snake didn't, really bite down and give him a full venom injection. So yeah, very grateful that he's okay now. He's strong, doing good. If you see him now running around, I still try to keep him from running around too much. But he's becoming more active, and he's running now. He's not huffing and puffing. He's not coughing anymore. So I'm very grateful. I thank God for that. And I'm hoping he lives longer than what the vet said. Okay? Okay, guys, that's about it for our Toby update. Please like, subscribe to our channel, and I will see you guys on my next video. Good boy.